John, that is so true. I preach that to my daughters who were, all of them have played Division I basketball, and they're all known for their shooting. And I have one going to Villanova this year, and I constantly tell her the real fine athletes, and you have perfected something that many people can't, and that's to forget what you've just done and have a short memory. Because if you're a shooter in basketball and you miss three, and you can hit the three-point shot and you miss three in a row, you got to have a short memory and be able to come right back thinking you're going to hit the fourth one. And that's the life of a kicker. Let's quickly go into 2008, which was last year, and oh my gosh, how the tide does change, and how from first-team All-American, 12-4 playing for the national title, the team comes out, has beset by injuries, has a really, really subpar year in Delaware Standard, and you face a lot of adversity, you and the team. The team ends up 4-8. You only have 13 chances to kick field goals in the season, hit 7 of them, don't make All-American, don't even make honorable mention All-League. Did you lose your confidence, or did the team lose their confidence during that season?
I think it's hard for a team to go, that we had so many seniors last year. I mean, we figured we were all set, we were taken care of, we had a new transfer quarterback, and I thought we had all the makings of another good year. And I'd say maybe we took some things for granted. And we thought that when we played Maryland tough the first week, in 14-7, we lost. I mean, that's an ACC school I went to a bowl game, and their talented program. So maybe we kind of prepared a little bit less than we should have, or thought, a little bit more than we should at the time, until you earned really what was rightfully ours. But at 4-8, it's tough. You realize at some point you're not going to make the playoffs. Games, our fans come to almost every game. Student section's empty. So you're thinking, God, if we don't believe in us, who's going to believe in us at that point?
Right.
And it's tough to go out and play on a cold day. And we got embarrassed by a few teams last year.
Right.
And it's a real big wake-up call, because we were scoring 40 points a game in 07. And last year we were putting up 14 or 17 if we were lucky. Sure.
Well, that's the fickleness of having to bring your A game to every single season, every single game, and that's what's so aspiring and exciting at this time of the season for football, because everybody is thinking they're going to have a great year.
Everyone's fresh.
Everybody's fresh. And let's just switch gears just quickly here also. Juggling, how tough is it to juggle the academic and athletic requirements when academically you're carrying a 3.1 GPA, you're a business major, and yet at Division I and Division I AA, there's no off season. I mean, you're working on, when the season's over, you're still working 20 to 30 hours a week on your skills, your weightlifting, and your speed, and it's all organized. And yet you have to be able to take 15 credits a semester, and you want to aspire to use your athletics to get a great job someday. How tough is it to do that? And also, what support does Delaware and some other Division I schools give their athletes?
Well, support-wise, I think that we have some of the best people doing it for us. We have 3 or 4 advisors in a student athletes advisory center, and they handle all our classes. They schedule us for things, provide us with tutors and everything like that if we need them, and try to get us in a class schedule that's going to help us perform the best we can. They don't put 3 hard classes with a lab on you during the season. You just can't do it, because you're at practice, you're at game, you're traveling. It's very difficult. I'm going to say, for football, we play once a week, and we're either home, we're away. We leave on Friday if we play on Saturday on the road. And you look at some of the other Division I sports, like baseball, they're playing away from school for 8 days at a time, 9 days at a time. And you're out of the classroom, you've got your backpack full of work you've got to complete for this. And some days, you were there, you come home and you're dead. You don't want to touch anything, you just want to sit on the couch and relax. You had a rough day at practice,
Sure.
Outside,
Sure.
things like that. And those are the kind of things you've got to overcome, because, as an athlete, you might give up some of your social life. Or at least, when I lived in my dorm freshman year, I lived with all non-athletes. And I remember getting up at 5 a.m. to go to winter conditioning, and these guys are all coming in from the night before, partying, they got food and everything, and I'm sitting there trying to wake myself up to go run. And that might be a little bit disheartening for some kids, because you hear about college, you see movies like Animal House or things like that, and that's the perception you get of how it's going to be.
Right.
But as an athlete, you've got to be much more disciplined and much more focused. You're there to play sports and get an education.
Well, let's touch on that, because rarely do you pick up a paper today and not see some college have a problem with an athlete, whether it's breaking the law, becoming ineligible, taking illegal substances, they're drug testing now, of course, because of NCAA, and Delaware's had some off-the-field problems. How is it? I mean, as a parent, I'm constantly preaching to my kids to make the right decision, and I know you hear this from your coaches because it's sports talk and yet it's real talk, and if you don't make the right decision, it affects your character and your family name forever. Why is it that some people stray and get themselves in trouble, and somebody like you has such high character, when you are well known on the campus? I'm sure now wherever you go, people know who you are. And society, there's so many different things out there luring you or pulling you in different directions. How do you stand off from that type of thing when other people may be on your team, and surely on other teams, get caught in that web?
Well, I think some of it stems from me being a walk-on and realizing from the very start that I had little room for error, especially socially, because they're not going to tolerate that for someone who's not producing for them. And I think that not taking for granted a scholarship or the opportunity to play Division I sports on Saturday is also another big part of it for me. I mean, football means a lot to me. And what I've accomplished to this point, to throw it all away in one night for something stupid that you can do in 10 minutes is a scary thought. I mean, you can work your whole life and it's over like that. You don't even know it. But I think that when it comes down to it, you really have to sit there and think for a second. If you do get in trouble, what's it going to be like to go home and tell your parents, hey, Mom and Dad, I don't have my scholarship anymore. I can't play this year. Let alone the financial burden you put on them, but they'd be disappointed in you. And you let your teammates down, or people you've met in the community that think highly of you. I've made friends from football, off the field, fans, administrators at school know my name now, and that's something. It's a big opportunity for you after sports is over. And to do something like that, where you could just lose all that respect in a matter of minutes, is difficult.